Mr. Thank you, Mr. Deputy President. I really cannot believe that we've gotten to this point. Let me be clear, this is a very dark day for this Parliament. There is a lot in this bill and there are a lot of amendments proposed to be debated later on today. But at the end of the day, the big argument is, do we raise the bar to accessing compensation for some of our most hard done by workers, or do we watch premiums go up by double digits and force businesses to raise prices, fueling inflation even further? And do we force our non-profit sector to make extremely hard budgeting decisions, which will almost certainly lead to either job cuts or cuts in services in the charity, care and disability sectors? It actually doesn't have to be this way. We've spent the best part of the last 6 months arguing over a percentage figure, and that is the percentage figure of the WPI, the whole person impairment. 15%, 21%, 25%, 26%, 31%. Under the antiquated PIRS system, and I have to agree with the evidence that Mr Tudor Hope recounted earlier regarding South Australia in the inquiry, it's as if New South Wales uses Windows 98 and every other jurisdiction has moved on to at least Windows 10 or above. It isn't the number that's the issue, it's actually the methodology that calculates that number that is the real issue. New South Wales has one of the most antiquated systems of calculating a whole person impairment figure in the Western world, and certainly here in Australia. And the previous speaker, Mr Banasiak, did a good job of illustrating that even further. To quote the Secretary of Unions New South Wales, Mark Morey, in yesterday's newspapers, "We've got this arse about," and I acknowledge his presence in the gallery here tonight. We should have fixed the system of assessing psychological damage. We have wasted the best part of 2025 throwing around these percentages and digging trenches on this side, the side of no change on that front, and on that side of raising the bar so high that it quite literally is near on impossible for severely and permanently impaired workers to be compensated. Compensated because they went to work and they returned home permanently damaged, forever changed for the worse. And too often these concepts can be talked about in this place. They can be referred to a committee, they can be inquired into, we can hear from witnesses and have submissions, and this place all too often becomes an ivory tower, but you just have to listen to the stories of so many people who came to us, who are in the system, and who have injuries inside their mind that can never be undone. This whole process has been a mess. This bill is not a particularly good one. I've engaged in good faith negotiations over the back half of this year, and in particularly more intensely over the last fortnight. And I do not believe that we have landed in a good place in the end. In fact, to illustrate that point, I think the Treasurer said in his second read speech earlier tonight that this bill addresses the issue of reasonable management action. Well, I seem to think that was actually removed in the LA bill before it was passed there. But we will deal with that in the debate later with the amendments that we'll deliberate on. I myself have many amendments to move here tonight in order to try and cut the crusts off this crap sandwich that the Labor Party are asking the workers to eat. To illustrate that point, as Mark Banasiak said in his previous speech just before I stood up here, there are inpatients in mental health facilities that do not reach the threshold that's proposed in Labor's bill for compensation here. Now, I'm not happy about that particular or anything else or any other story that we've heard, but we've been stuck in these trenches with this bill for too long now. We do have to do our job as the House of Review, as a deliberative body. After having several inquiries into this issue, I do believe it's our duty to amend it and send it back to the lower house in a form that protects injured workers, ensures the stability of this scheme into the future, and importantly, keeps premiums at a somewhat reasonable level that doesn't lead to job losses or cuts. Mr Deputy President, I do not commend the bill to the House in its current form. I will vote in the affirmative on the second read in order so that we can significantly amend and send it back to the lower house in a better form. Thank you.